Hi, I'm author and illustrator Daniel Jude Miller, and I'd like to read you my book, Earclaw and Eddie. Now this book is very special to me for a very strange reason. Sometimes I get ideas for books from things I see or things I hear, or sometimes they come from nowhere. But this book is very, very personal because Eddie is me. Okay, it's really a story about me, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I got the idea. One day my life was going fine and everything looked really good, and then all of a sudden I started not to feel very well, and it started out very tiny. I didn't know what it was, so I went to doctors and doctors and doctors, and eventually the problem got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was very uncomfortable. But none of the doctors could figure it out. It was very strange. Now I'm going to tell you, in the end, they did figure it out, but it took a long time. And this story came from my search to find what was bothering me. Now, every book that I do has a secret in it. And at the end of this book, I'm going to tell you what the secret is in this book. So make sure you stay tuned. Now, normally, when I do readings like this, I'd have a book, right? I'm going to read from the book that I wrote and illustrated. But guess what? Today, I have this, my tablet. Because Earclaw and Eddie was never printed as an actual real book. It's an e-book that you can only read on your tablet or your phone. So let's get started. Earclaw and Eddie by me, Daniel Jude Miller. This is a simple story. A story about sunsets, a story about someone named Eddie, but most importantly, a story about everything that happens in between sunsets. Eddie was just an average, regular guy who was right on the cusp of something big, unfortunately. Like most terrible or odd things, it came from nowhere and it started very small. One horrible morning, Eddie woke to find his new companion, more like burden. His name was Earclaw, and he already seemed very comfortable. Eddie immediately sought the advice of lots and lots and lots of doctors, but none helped. They suggested trying to just live with Earclaw. But that was impossible since Earclaw was absolutely unbearable, and he went everywhere Eddie went. He sat in at work with Eddie, and traveled on vacation with Eddie, as well as drove with, ate with, played with, smiled with, thought with, planned with, shaved with, and dreamed with Eddie. Time passed slowly for Eddie. Weeks, months, and life all faded away with no solution in sight. Then, out of nowhere, a girl finally tricked Earclaw into leaving. It had been so very, very, very long since Eddie was happy, hopeful, free. But that feeling didn't last long. Soon there was a knock at the door. His name was Gnarly, and with Earclaw gone, he decided to stay. So then Gnarly did everything Eddie did. Some days with Gnarly made Eddie actually miss Earclaw. No, not really. Which did matter because Earclaw eventually came back, making everything twice as unpleasant, bad, and horrible. Just when things for Eddie had turned extremely bleak, he met a boy. The boy ignored Earclaw, and he didn't care about Gnarly. All he said was, "Come play." But Eddie wasn't up to playing. The boy said, "Look around." But Eddie didn't see anything out of the ordinary. And suddenly, Eddie looked at all the people around him and he could see that he wasn't alone. He wasn't the only one who was carrying some monster or creature or goblin around with him. It was normal for everyone to have one of their own. And suddenly, Eddie saw that he wasn't alone. So Eddie, Earclaw, Gnarly, the girl, and the boy all lived happily, more like acceptingly, ever after, in between sunsets. The end. So how'd you like that? Earclaw and Eddie, sort of the story of my own life. And now I'll tell you the secret that's hiding in this book. Okay? It turns out that something was making me very sick, and it probably affects a lot of you that are watching this video. Okay? It turns out that the Earclaw on my head and the Gnarly around my belly were both being caused by allergies. Okay? It turns out it was the things that I was breathing and some of the things that I were eating that were making me feel sick. And guess what? As soon as I stopped breathing those things and I stopped eating those things, I felt much, much, much better. So, the secret that's in this book is that if you look at each illustration again, if you look at each one, and you look really close, one letter on each page is gray. Okay, all the writing is usually black. But if you look really close, you can find one letter that's not black. And I'll show you an example here. Okay, if you look really close at this drawing, you look at all the words, there's Gnarly's name is in red, and Earclaw's name is in purple, and most of the other letters are black. But there will be one letter per page that's gray. And if you look on this page, it's right there. Okay, if you write all those letters down in the order that they appear in the book, it'll spell out words. And it'll actually tell you all the things that I'm allergic to. That's the secret. It gives up all the things that I can't breathe or can't eat. Okay, thanks for watching. But don't forget, if you want a copy of any of my books, go right here to this website and I will send you an autographed copy of any of the books that you order. They all get autographed. Everyone gets an autograph. Now remember, you can't buy this book, Earclaw and Eddie, there because that one is only on Amazon as an ebook, so I obviously can't sign it. But all the other books are available and I would get them right out to you. But also don't forget that while you're on my website, make sure you check out all the games and activities and videos and projects I have there that'll teach you what I do and how you can also become a writer and an illustrator. There's so many helpful tools there that I want to share with you. So again, thanks for coming. See you next time.